Hey folks, once again it's your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. This one plays right into one of our primary complaints is that for us ride share drivers, it's not safe out here. A lot of nefarious shit goes on. I'm going to give you a news clip, and this involves passengers being robbed, abducted, kidnapped off the street, forced to go to ATMs, having their cell phones snatched and things like that. But I want you to see how this plays into some neglect, in my opinion, that comes from Uber, the ride-sharing companies. I'll run this by you, and the first thing I want is for my Lyft lieutenants, my Uber detectives, my ride-sharing sleuths. I want to ask you, what is the first thing that comes to mind if you were trying to solve what happened to these people? I'll talk to you on this other side.
Welcome to the news at 11. I'm Vic Carter. A stark warning if you use the Uber rideshare app. Tonight, police across city and county lines are investigating after a string of ride-sharing robberies over the weekend up until today. Take a look. Here's a map of where police say these incidents happened. According to investigators, there were 3 separate crimes where someone called for an Uber and then got abducted and robbed. WJZ's Live, Christina Mendez shares potentially life-saving tips from the ride-sharing service. Christina.
Vic, so Uber is sharing several features that come automatically on your phone, and those include an automatic 911 dial button, as well as sharing your driver's details with family or friends. So while this ride-sharing company is offering these reminders to anyone who uses the app, police, they are looking for who may have been behind the wheel and anyone else accused of helping in this weekend's plot.
Doers posing as Uber drivers doing robberies.
That's kind of like a horror story. That's like movie stuff right there.
But this isn't a fictional film. It's for real, and police are investigating Uber incidents in both Baltimore City and county.
They rob and abduct the potential passenger.
3 separate victims call for an Uber ride, only to find themselves in a robbery scenario.
People are doing anything.
Police say this string of back-to-back robbery kidnappings began on Saturday in the city just after 2:30 in the morning and ended nearly 48 hours later, Monday morning. In 2 cases, the victim reports being forced into an Uber car. One incident was at gunpoint, then was taken to an ATM where suspects demanded cash. Afterward, the victim was cut loose. In a 3rd case, the victim told police the Uber-posing perps were after a cell phone and was hit across the face several times before being let go.
When it comes to like life or death situations, you never know what's going to save you.
In a statement, Uber offers what could be life-saving suggestions. In part, the ride-sharing service wrote, "We encourage riders and drivers to cancel trips if they don't feel safe and remind riders to always double-check the details of their ride, car make and model, driver name and photo, and license plate before getting in."
As an Uber driver,
Sophia Lynn says using the ride-sharing app as a supplemental income has taught her one thing: trust your instincts.
if I felt uncomfortable, it just wasn't happening.
Police in both jurisdictions are now working to figure out if all of these crimes may be connected. As for Uber, they do confirm to us that they are both cooperating and helping police with each of this investigation. I'm reporting from Baltimore. I'm Christina Mendez for WJZ.
What the hell is that? Now, 3 different individuals call for an Uber, and instead a criminal shows up, robs them at gunpoint, takes their shit. In one case, takes somebody to the ATM machine, makes them take out money. Another case, taking someone's cell phone away from them. Now, like I said, my Uber sleuths, my Lyft detectives, Lyft lieutenants, ride-sharing detectives, what do you think happened in this case? I'm going to give you my spiel on it. And let me know in the comments, what do you think? You think I'm getting it? You think I'm way off? You think I'm right on? I think I may be able to offer some assistance in this one. By the way, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell. We talk about this kind of stuff all day long. Now, 3 folks all requested an Uber, and instead they get someone else posing as an Uber, forces them to get in the car, and then commits a violent crime against them. The first thing that comes to mind is, how did the criminals know that all of these victims were requesting a rideshare car? That's where I believe the solution to this puzzle lies. And that is, I strongly believe, I'm not suggesting that a driver, an Uber driver, committed the crimes, But I do believe there is plenty of room for one to be a co-conspirator. In other words, you received a phone call, not a phone call, you received a trip on your app, looked at the trip and thought this might be a decent person to victimize, and you sent your boys to go hit the lick. That's what it sounds like to me. So the first thing I would suggest is the police find out who received the trip request and what happened to it. When that person requested a trip, did one of them get canceled first and they had to re-request it? Because that's what I would see is I get a call on I get a trip on my phone. I see an old lady wanting to be picked up after hours from an industrial location where I know most of the businesses are closed. This looks like this might be a good target. So I cancel the trip, and then I tell my boys, this is what she looked like. This is the address. She'll be standing right on the corner. Go hit that lick. That's what I believe potentially happened here. Now, the driver can obviously say, I canceled the trip because it was too far away. I decided I was done working for the day. I had to take a shit or whatever the case may be. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, here's where I see the bullshit I want to discuss. Uber, the spokesperson, as you've seen in the video, the quote was, they encourage both drivers and passengers, if they feel that their safety is at risk, to cancel trips. From a driver's perspective, any of us who drive that are often trying to maximize your strategies to get profits, to maximize your profits, you know that canceling trips is something that Uber frowns upon, Lyft frowns upon. So the idea that they encourage drivers to cancel trips if they feel their safety is at risk is utter bullshit. We all know that. I've made videos about how I do not do airport trips, how I do not travel further than the distance of my average trips. In other words, in my market, my average trip, when a person gets in my car, they want to go an average of 1 to 5 miles. Most of my passengers are out of the vehicle after traveling 5 miles or less. So based on that notion, those averages, I don't travel more than 5 miles to pick someone up. I'll be damned if I'm going to travel 15 miles or so to pick someone up and they're only going 2. Like I said, implement strategies to maximize profits. I got a video I'll link in the description, well over 100,000 views, gives you all of the tips that I believe are at your best interest to maximize your profits if you go to rideshare. So I encourage you to watch that video. However, if you do not accept every damn trip they send you, you get these automated threats via email, via text message that, well, if you don't take these trips, we're going to cancel you. So, or you face the risk of being removed from the platform. So any claims that they tell drivers to cancel trips if you feel your safety is at risk or something of that nature is a lie. It's bullshit. They threaten us for canceling trips all the damn time. I know. I've talked, like I said, I've made videos about trips you shouldn't take. And the other statement they made is that drivers are encouraged, and the passengers, drivers and passengers are encouraged to look at their device, make sure the picture, license plate number, and things like that match up before you get in the car. That works better for the passengers. Once again, they care more about the passengers. I strongly believe they don't give a damn about us drivers, and I say that in every video. You know, as a rider, how many times as a driver, how many times as a driver have you showed up to pick up a passenger and they didn't look anything like the profile picture? Maybe you showed up to pick a dude. Maybe you showed up and a dude was waiting to get in the car that the trip was requested by his girlfriend. So on your app, you're seeing this pretty girl. But when you show up to pick up the passenger, it looks like me. So when you look at the app and they say, make sure it's that's bullshit. We pick up kids going to school, all sorts of folks that do not look like the picture on the app. What Uber is doing is releasing these nice, kind sounding statements so that the public at large does not know the skinny on how bad they do shit. Us riders, we know all of this stuff is bullshit. So I just wanted to run this video by you because, yeah, I strongly believe what's going on in the Baltimore area is that they have a Lyft, or maybe better yet, a Uber driver, a rideshare driver, that's probably a co-conspirator in these events. Anyhow, just wanted to run this by you. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell. It's your boy Tim. I'll catch you in the next video.